The following is a pre-recorded conversation between two siblings and is filled with personal opinions and biases. It should not be taken seriously by anyone. Viewer discretion is advised.
Hello, and welcome to the You Don't Make Friends with Giant Squids podcast. I'm Jackson.
And I'm Squid!
And this is part 2 of Jersey Boys.
Yeah.
Our review of Jersey Boys, which I loved and Squid did not. But
I mean, it's alright. It's not the worst movie in the world.
It's so good.
It's just, you know.
Oh my God, stop hating on Jersey.
It's alright.
In the movie, after a bit where Frankie and Tommy and Nick are pretty much the main group so far, like they need another one, Joe Pesci's character comes in and introduces Tommy and Frankie to Bob, who is the guy who wrote "Who Wears Short Shorts," which is so cute. But like he's like a song genius in general, and like I know that it doesn't happen like that in real life, but that scene when they were singing at the piano and Bob was auditioning, not even really auditioning, but just like, I'm gonna play a song that I've been tweaking in my mind, and then they all just jump in with their little sections.
That happens. You do jam sessions with people.
But like that was beautiful to see. Like I loved that scene. Like, and that's such a great song. Like I loved how high Frankie's voice gets. Like just it was such a good song. And then those two little bimbos who were watching the entire time. Matching outfits.
You were one of them.
First off, I was like, stop matching.
Stop it.
What is with all these women in matching?
I think that they were waitresses at the
they?
bar. Yeah, because the bar had already closed. So, like, because the bar had closed, he just went up there and started doing it. So everybody that was still there, like the dishwasher and the bartender and the waitresses, just stopped and they watched as the band jammed out for a little bit.
I think it just bugged me in general seeing women matching just because it came off as that women were such a commodity.
Oh, women were a commodity in this entire movie.
Yeah.
There was literally a scene where Gangster, like, what's he goes? He goes, give me a kiss and go powder your nose. And I was like, I'm going to say that to you later.
Oh, yeah, with that really skinny, willowy blonde girl.
Yeah.
I was like, oh my gosh, she's so graceful.
He's like, are you going to answer the door? And I was like, fuck.
Like, Jesus Christ. She's like, what if it's your wife? Like, yeah. What if?
Really? You're worried? You're worried about what if it's your wife, girl?
Like, I was like, oh, shit. Like, she was really willowy. I feel like she would have gotten knocked over real quick.
Nah, then he should have opened the door and been like, hey, it's your wife.
But this movie gave me one of my favorite females. I love the girl that Frankie gets together with. I mean, she has serious problems in general, but I also feel like that's like she's so strong. Like, and the way she's just kind of like oh no, Valley with a Y. No, you gotta be Valley with an I. Like because you're Italian and we all end in vowels. Y's are so stupid. Like just how like exact. And she's like you got a nickel? And she grabs his hand, and then she's like, call your mother, tell her you're going to be late. Like, I was like, damn, girl. Dang.
I mean, I thought she was pretty cool when she was first introduced. But then she just, like, you know.
She disappears.
Yeah, all that swagger and all that stuff just kind of, like, leaves. And it's...
I think it's also telling because a woman with that strong a will then... I feel like would have turned to drinking with the fact that there's so many glass ceilings, so many barriers with where she needs, like once she became a wife, like I just really felt for her, just that she's a wife and a mother and she's stuck in this marriage to someone who's never home. And what is she supposed to do? Hold down the household and that's it. Like it's all on her and she can't go do what she was going to do, anything that she wanted to do. Like, and she seemed so strong. Like she definitely had shit she wanted to do. And she guaranteed she didn't get to do it.
Again, some lovely life advice from Squid.
Leave.
But here's the thing, right? So being in that, say if I was in that same situation, eventually I think I would have just shut down towards the relationship with my partner. I wouldn't have divorced him because he was making money, right? And I would have just used the money and done things. I mean, I can still go take classes and stuff. I can still use my money and buy things and learn things and do things. And the only thing that matters is that she's being supported. Like, so go off and do whatever it is you want to do. Yeah, your husband's cheating on you and all this stuff and bullshit, but then just shut that down. I mean, I can shut that down. I know a lot of people can't shut that down. But there'd be a moment when there's a switch in my head and then that person doesn't mean anything to me anymore.
That's good. I think a lot of people, like with her, the ego definitely gets in there, where it's like, I'm the one who told him to call his mother. Like, he does what I say. Like, and
okay, I see that.
And he no do what she say. Like, also, what's funny though is that something that's interesting that Clint Eastwood completely took out of their story is the fact that she had a daughter before. Like, she was a single mom.
Oh.
Yeah, and Frankie took in her daughter, and no one knows who her father is. Like, she didn't know who her father was. He completely took her in, and what's sad is that she died the same year that Francine died. Like,
Who's Francine?
Francine's his daughter, the one who dies later on in the.
So you mean both of his daughters die in the same year, but they only had the one?
They only did one. Because she's the one who OD'd was his blood, and the other one, she got locked out of her apartment and tried climbing the fire escape to get in and fell.
What a way!
Yeah, I know, what a way to go. But then the fact that nobody like added her, like, why? Like, I mean, she felt like that Frankie was her dad, like, and I bet he mourned her loss too. Is like that. Finding that out, that really sucked. I felt really bad for her. But it also makes sense. It fed into the character of his wife. It makes complete sense why Tommy would have been like, no, she's going to eat you alive. Like, this lady, she's a rah.
Yeah.
Rah.
That makes sense.
But, like, also that strength that she would have had to have had, you know? Like, of being a single woman, especially a single mom.
In
Jersey at that time. Like, and as young as they were.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. I thought that would have been another layer that would have made it even juicier to have something that was true to life and not use it.
Yeah, but that's one of my main qualms with the movie.
Qualms. She's got qualms.
Yeah, it focuses so much on getting the entire life, like, timeline, that you don't get, everything stays very, very shallow. You don't get to explore the super cool depths of anything. And it's very, like, stretched out. And, like, you get this awesome character for her 5 minutes that she's in the movie. And then the next time we see her, she's a drunk throwing bottles. It's like, where did that progression come from? And because of life experience, you understand where that progression came from. But, I mean...
It would have been nice to have played with it.
Yeah, even just a little bit.
Yeah.
But then that's also upping the drama.
True.
And then it would be focusing on women and...
You know, movies don't do that.
Well, no, not movies about Jersey boys. They focus on women. They tell them to give them some sugar and then, go powder your nose.
And also they all wear the same outfit for some reason and only do everything together. Because that's gross.
Well, that's because
that's real gross. At that party that we went to, and they're like, oh yeah, we do. These twins walk up to
Well, I mean, they're in
Frankie.
like a super socialite apartment and everything. Dude. They're probably there trying to look for somebody who has money.
Yeah.
So that's how they feel like they can stand.
Yeah, that's that one chick with the beehive who comes up to Frankie and she was like, he starts telling her that he's a hairdresser by day and fights crime at night, and she's like, oh, you're funny.
You know what I felt like was weird in this movie? It was like 1 second they were nothing, and then all of a sudden they were like Ed Sullivan Show.
No, there was a good progression, I feel. Like they got on the radio. Like as soon as, and there was also that year of them not even being able to release any records.
Yeah, being backup
singers. But we don't see the year, pretty much. It was just, we were told.
Well, that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about, like, because when you release singles, it's not like your first single is going to be a hit.
True, but they told him they had to write hits.
That's true. Otherwise, he wouldn't put it out there.
Yeah, that he wouldn't put it out there. And then they did 3 in a row.
Yeah.
So they got
it was
real
just-
hot real fast.
Yeah, that's what it felt like. It felt like they got real hot real fast. Like they were still Jersey trash, but now people knew who they were.
Yeah. Yeah, but no one knew that they were Jersey trash. Like
They knew, they just didn't know.
No, they couldn't. If they were so scared of people finding out that they had records, like they.
And it doesn't mention that at all in the movie.
Yeah, I know they don't say that, but doing research, they were scared that people were gonna find out that they had been to prison, that they all had rap sheets, that because back in the day that would have killed their careers. Like it would have made them just ineligible.
Yeah.
To be famous, I guess.
You have to revoke your famous card. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
No longer allowed to be famous.
Yeah. And let's see. We're pretty much the Ed Sullivan Show. I love that scene too. Like when they sing Sherry. It's so good, and I love their little dance moves.
Oh yeah.
Like let's go this
side
way.
to side dancing.
This way. Let's go. Move forward. Lean forward. Lean back.
Yeah, there was also there was a moment
shuffle.
when he's like performing and he gets like so into it he drops to his knees and then there's just a bunch of white people in the audience going,
Look at these Italians.
yeah, they're just like, oh, this song has a nice bop to it, doesn't it, darling? And he's there like, on his knees, like really feeling the song, like so much so that he's like struggling to hold it in. And then the white people are just like, oh, yes, emotion.
Look, Sherry baby.
Sherry baby. Yes, Sherry baby. It was so weird and jarring. I'm like, well, I wouldn't want to perform for white people.
Very true.
Yeah.
I wouldn't either. They suck. They're not a good audience.
Right? No, where's the dancing? Where's the bop? Where's the rhythm? Where's the grind?
I think it's funny how that performance is pretty much I feel like it's that one, and then they do the other performance that's at the end. Like it juxtaposes against each other once they're all fighting. Like and when they're like 2 years later, like them going like having 3 hits now and more hits, and then you get Nick come to camera and break the fourth wall and be like, nah, like shit didn't go down like the way that y'all thought it was. Like shit went bad 2 years ago from this. And I thought it was interesting because you can feel a difference in the vibe of that performance and in the vibe of that performance on the Ed Sullivan Show. Although, was it also the Ed Sullivan Show the second time around?
I have no idea.
It was another...
What were the famous... It was Bandstand, American Bandstand, right?
Bandstand was the first one then.
Yeah.
And then Ed Sullivan Show was the last one. Right. Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah, because seeing the difference in their energy. Like, they're all, like, side-eyeing each other in the second performance.
I didn't feel that.
I did, because they were all mad at Tommy for all that debt he ran up.
Nah, I mean, I felt bad for Nick, because it's like, he uses a towel and leaves them in the corner when he blew up.
That whole scene's so embarrassing.
Why?
Because, like, that was not the time or the place to talk about his bathroom etiquette.
I honestly, because the thing is, I think that Frankie had like Bob. He had someone to get away from him from, but that means that what's his name, Nick?
Yeah.
He was forced to be with him.
Well,
he was forced to bunk with him for 10 years, though. 10 years with the same person.
Yeah. That's a lot, especially when you end up seeing the towels on the floor and he like blows his nose in a towel and then they say he peed in the sink.
Yeah, and it was so many things, and he was not a very considerate person. And
true, he's not. Yeah, in general. Although Tommy DeVito, the OG real guy, says that that's all bullshit.
I mean, of course he would.
I know. But he says that he said that he's probably was the cleanest guy there. That was his words. That I was the cleanest guy there. I don't know what he's like. I've never peed in a sink.
Oh,
sure.
Please, yeah. Please. If I had the anatomy, I would be synced. I would pee everywhere, man. I'd be like, hey, look, there's a tree. I'm gonna pee on it. You know how easy it is to just pee when you have that to just pee. It's a whole ordeal. It's the worst.
Okay. I feel like Nick. Because I live with someone who would have peed in the sink.
I would have. Honestly, I'm not gonna lie. I would straight up pee in that sink because it's there, you know. And if you run the water at the same time, it all goes to the same place. I don't.
Oh my God, you.
Pee is sterile.
Oh my God.
If I didn't, because there's sometimes when I get home, right, and you know how like for some reason your brain triggers that you have to pee, and there's nothing you can
safe, and I have to pee.
So I'll be in my room, literally trying to get comfortable, and then all of a sudden it's you're gonna pee in 5, 4, 3, and next thing I know I'm tripping over my legs trying to get to the bathroom one time.
The older you get, the less warning you get.
Exactly, right. So I'm just saying, just having to whip it out and pee in a sink wouldn't be too bad.
And he probably, honestly, I feel like that probably happened while he was drunk, and he doesn't remember doing it anyways. Honestly.
I mean, you don't have to be drunk to be in the sink or whatever.
But that whole scene was so embarrassing. I was so embarrassed for
But it was something that was going to happen. I mean, he was, because everybody else had issues with Tommy. Is that his name?
Yeah, this is pretty much where everything comes to a head, where they're trying to fix the fact that Tommy got them $150,000 in debt, because while managing the business, he kind of took out loans from his former associates, from, you know, other guys who have mob connections.
Yeah.
And not only that, but then he took out from their tax, like, squirreled away the stuff that, you know, when you make a lot of money, you kind of got to put stuff aside for the tax man, and he took $500,000 from there. And yeah,
everybody had issues with him, you know, but
because it wasn't easy to work with.
No, he wasn't, and he was obviously not very considerate, and Frankie had legitimate issues, Bob had legitimate issues, so his issues were those towels everywhere. Sneezes in a towel, takes his towel, just takes all the towels. Like, he had issues with them as well. It's just his issues weren't as
true. But in front of mob boss Christopher Walken was not where you blow up.
I personally think that it was kind of adorable.
It was funny, especially when Christopher Walken looks back and he's like, "Stay out of my bathroom."
Yeah, that was great. That was great. Yeah, right. You nowhere near my bathroom, please.
Which is so disrespectful. Because what if Tommy had to pee? And he's like,
not in the sink.
I mean, but like, I wouldn't even know. Do I need to go home now? Like, I can't even go pee before I leave. Like, he told me to stay out of his bathroom.
I kind of love that he got called on it. I didn't think it was embarrassing at all. I'm like, this is just what happens when somebody bottles shit up for like 10 years. It will explode.
I just thought it was not the time or the place for him to air out that laundry in front of these mob bosses who are trying to settle a $150,000 debt.
Yeah,
it's just not time or place. Time.
But that was when the bottle popped.
Yeah, that was he couldn't hold it in anymore.
Mm-hmm.
And then then also that's when he said he wanted to go home. That he did. I mean, technically, the entire movie, his main lines have been, "I'm gonna start my own band."
Mm-hmm. Guys, I'm gonna leave. No, you're not. Okay.
Right.
Guys, I want to leave now.
I'm gonna start my own band.
Okay.
But like that part though, like the leaning in and letting you in on what's going on in each character's head, the fact that we get Nick's perspective too, we get Tommy's perspective, and we get Bob's. I feel like we just get a better overall picture of what was going on, and I love that. I kind of love that about the movie. I love that about breaking the fourth wall. Like, I love that about that device, and I like the way they used it.
That's not how it came across to me, though.
No.
Like, I see that that's how you pick it up and everything, but for me, it was more like, hey, here's the movie, and here's some side-eye.
But I like that, too.
And then it was, okay, here's the movie, and now I'm giving side-eye. You know? And it was just like, okay, be campy. And I get that it's a stage performance and that you would have, like, monologues, and people would talk to the audience and be like, hey, guess what's happening now in this scene? But, I mean, you don't need that for a movie.
But it's also true to life. Because none of them agree on what happened.
Yeah, but you could tell that in a different format from different perspectives.
True, but I like the way they did it. I think they did it very well.
I was not a fan.
And I like the Winky.
I mean,
the Winky's great.
if you say so.
Although we don't really get Frankie, I don't think. Like, I don't remember, looking back on it, I don't remember Frankie talking about
Frankie talks to camera, like, I think at least once.
At the end, when he's in that horrible old age makeup. He looked awful.
Yeah, his old age
Awful.
makeup was pretty bad.
The other dude, Bob, when he was like, yeah, I live in Tennessee with my wife, and I love my wife, and it's a good cigar. And I'm like, you look like Tennessee.
Right, my home is wherever I'm currently.
Like, I don't give
at.
a fuck about the neighborhood. Like, I wasn't from the neighborhood. I don't give a shit. It's like, Bob, we know you white. Like, come on now. You look like Tennessee. He looks like
It makes sense, yeah. When
Foghorn Leghorn.
he's like, I live in Tennessee. I go figures.
Figures.
Yeah.
But also, what the agreement that they come to after Nick blows up and decides to quit the band is that Tommy is going to go away for a while. That he's gonna go to Vegas, and so they can keep an eye on him while Frankie, stupidly, in my opinion, takes on his $500,000 debt to work it off like a crazy person.
Yeah.
But it's like how you said earlier that he's an energizer. He says it. He's an energizer bunny that he just keeps going and going.
He keeps going. He keeps performing. He keeps making his money, and he pays off the debt. And I understand why. I mean, I am not magnanimous enough of a person to take on another person's like $500,000 debt. But they're from the family, you know, and I think that's one of the reasons why Christopher Walken liked him so much, you know, is because when he wanted to use his like get out of jail free card with the mob boss, he uses it on
Tommy.
the family, so he gives it right back to him.
Yeah, that was really cool. Where he was just like, no,
Yeah,
here
you're
you
doing
go.
this to protect your family. I totally understand.
I get it.
Take it back. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it was like, ah. And yeah, and I was also saying, like, Christopher Walken, like, honestly, that mob boss, he may be an awful person to everybody around him, but to Frankie,
He was nice.
yeah, if he would have, if I was Frankie
was like
and
a
he
father.
was, right, if I was Frankie and he told me, go into that museum and be like, Dennis Quaid is here, and try and rob them, like, I would do it, because he told me to. It's like, he's more than supported him. He should walk in and be like, I'm Frankie Valli, and I'm robbing this bank. It's like, yeah, okay, I'll do that, because you told me to.
It just reminded me of that scene in Oh Brother, Where Art Thou?
Oh.
So I'm not Babyface.
George Nelson, not Babyface.
It's like, I'm robbing this bank.
Yeah, right? That's Babyface.
Who said that? That little like turtle lady.
She's all like, not George Nelson.
Not baby.
Babyface.
I think he might have had bipolar disorder.
Oh yeah, definitely. He was like, that's what they were saying, 'cause it's super high and then super low. And then right as he's about to like die later, he goes, "Oh George, not the livestock."
Maybe we need to do Oh Brother.
We should. I honestly, yeah, let's do Oh Brother next. So that one's a great movie. I would totally be down for Oh Brother next.
But back to Jersey Boys.
Yeah, I keep bringing up better movies for some reason.
Not
You know?
better, different movies.
Better. I mean, if you were gonna rate this seriously out of 10, how much would you rate it?
An 8.
An 8?
I would an 8 mainly for I loved all the performances. Christopher Walken himself gets like 2 points. like the music I love. Like, it's great. Like, I'm totally in that headspace.
I would say critic score, I'd give it like 7.6 out of 10, but personal enjoyment score would be like a 4.
A 4.
Personal enjoyment, 4. But I can see that it's a well put together movie. It's like, I get it, it's just not for me. But if I was a critic and I had to write a review on it, I'd be like, not for me, but I understand it, 7.6 out of 10.
I think my qualm I had with this movie was how they handled Francine's death, which was Frankie Valli's daughter.
Ah.
Because they are so tiptoey around the fact that she OD'd. Mm-hmm. Like, it wasn't intentional. It wasn't like it was a suicide or anything like that. But like they just kind of tiptoe around the fact that they mention that she uses drugs. She's hanging out with that really nasty ass man.
Like that crackhead?
Yeah, I was like, Jesus, he's like Lieutenant Dan, but with legs and crack.
Yeah.
Like, Jesus. And she looked, what, 14? Like, she's a baby.
Yeah, but
hanging out with this grown adult man.
Yeah, but her mom is like drunk out of her mind.
Yeah.
She can pretty much do whatever she wants.
She's been getting her. She's got issues.
Yeah, and when she was pretty and she was a performer, so
Yeah,
makes sense.
But then they don't even say what she died of. They just
They say she died, and then a
it
year
won't.
later,
It's the funeral, and her face, and I'm like, what happened? And I thought it was so sweet how her and Frankie were reconnecting, like, and how he was so excited to get the phone call from because he was scheduled to have phone calls with her.
Yeah, but I mean, how much of that is real and how much of that is not, you know?
Well, I mean, Bob wrote the screenplay for both. I mean, the movie's based off the screenplay.
Yeah, but I mean, writing screenplays and movies, you kind of have like this idealistic version of what happened and like the super polished and presented version.
Yeah.
Like, I'm sure that maybe they were starting to get together because she had a record deal. She was like four singles, and I know that she was progressing forward. But I mean, she's still ODs, so it's not like their relationship was everything that the movie is saying it was.
True, but also addiction is tough. Like once you're already in it, like, and she may have been already in it just because. I mean, I don't know if it was a wink at the audience of what she was doing, but the fact that he asked her what she wanted and she wants Coke, like that's all she said.
Yeah,
Coke.
I remember when she said that, I was like, oof.
Like
it was pretty rough.
Yeah, I was like, it was a hard Coke. Like, do you want the drink or what do you want to
Yeah, I kind of...
like, what do you want?
Right, I thought that it was just because of the slang. Because, you know, in California, you'd say, like, I want a drink or I want a soda or I want something. You would never say, give me Coke.
Or Coca-Cola,
and
enjoy.
Then, and what Michigan mom's like, pop? Like, I thought that maybe they just say Coke for everything because it's East Coast, you know? So that's what I was assuming was that it was slang that I just didn't understand.
Although the edge she had on her voice. To me, it was just
but
like...
was it Coke with the actual chick? Like, was that the drug of choice?
I don't know. Like, even when I researched it, they say OD. They also tiptoe around it.
Oh, so it's like there's not very, like, not easily Googleable.
Googleable.
Yeah. Not easily Googleable information on it.
All it says is that she OD'd. Pretty much.
That sucks.
But then that's when I found out about his stepdaughter that no one cared about.
Died from falling off the fire escape.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. That's so sad.
So sad.
Super sad. But that would be my qualm. I don't think they handled it right. I feel like they should have gone harder into it, or at least said it.
Oh yeah, address it. Well, I feel like
I had to guess. I was like, what happened to her?
I honestly feel like that was one of the movie's main flaws, is that it just hopped, skipped, and jumped over everything like a rock skipping across the surface of the water. You know, it's like, here's a point, here's a point, here's a point, here's a point, and they didn't go too far into like the emotional weight or repercussions of what was actually happening, which I think is the juiciest part of movies.
True. Especially when we get like a montage of the rest of Frankie's life of just hotel rooms and like that one journalist that he was with for at one point, and then out of nowhere she's like, oh, I have to get off the merry-go-round, it's not fun anymore. And you're like, oh, okay, I guess it would have been a merry-go-round, but we didn't get to see your merry-go-round.
Yeah.
You're telling me that there was a merry-go-round.
That's kind of what it is. The movie kept telling me things. Like, you're telling me that now this is over. You're telling me now this is this. You're telling me now this is this.
But I feel like the good parts outweigh the bad. Like, because that I feel like wasn't handled right. But then again, I didn't care about her. I didn't care about that lady. Like, I didn't... sadly, I wasn't too... I wasn't too connected to the daughter because, you know, he wasn't really... She wasn't part of his life, so we didn't really get to see.
Not part of his life as the performer, which is what the movie
is about.
Yeah.
So, sadly, that was just not a focus. But, yeah. But then at the end, where they all reunite after years, like they're all so old, and they're at the like 1990s Hall of Fame, like Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, getting inducted and performing, and they all look legit like old. Like when they danced, I was like, that looks like old man dancing right there.
It does.
And they're just like, and I was so impressed with how well Tommy wore the old man makeup. I thought the old gangster who went off to Nevada, he straight up says he has family in Nevada. He was tired of traveling, and that's why he moved. That's why he quit the band and went to Nevada.
Wow.
He does not.
He doesn't say anything about it. So since you said your qualm, I'll say my highlight. Since you loved it, and that was your qualm, my highlight.
And what you liked, besides Christopher Walken.
Yeah, but Christopher Walken was so good.
That's obvious.
Yeah. Let's see. I liked how the movie was shot.
So that's an Eastwood
Yeah.
nod.
Because there were scenes like I like continuous camera movements and like all one take thing where it's like coming in, you follow one character and then another character comes out, and there was like a moment in the recording studio when they did stuff like that.
Oh yeah, Frankie's like coming in and out, and the other dudes when they're arguing.
And then they come in and then you like see the thing, and you throw up the papers and it comes back in, and like there were some really cool camera angles, and then also the way that the storytelling was done. I'm not sure if we talked about it like during the break, but like the woman that got slapped. That was such a like. I mean, I hated that because like they're watching TV, and it's the how good girls big girls don't cry. How that song like came about. And they were watching the thing, and then all of a sudden the girl's like, "You gonna make me?" And then the guy just straight up smacks. And it was so jarring. Like I hated it because it's like. Because she got hit and they're like laughing at it. And then all of a sudden the guy he goes, "Well, big girls don't cry." And his face just goes.
Yeah, then all of a sudden it builds.
Yeah.
Big girls don't cry.
Yeah, it just comes straight up.
Big
Don't
girls,
cry. Yeah.
they don't cry.
Yeah, it was such a good like, and it's like I turned to Mom because I'm watching over there and I'm like, hey, that's how inspiration hits you sometimes. You're just out and about and you hear something and you're like, what was that? What was that? That's it.
The way that her head moved right now reminded me of the Lion King.
Oh, yeah. What was
One
that?
and a half.
What was that? Quick before the hyena comes. Yeah. But yeah, that was I'd say it was beautifully shot. I mean, it was gorgeous to look at, and the music was great, and the acting was good. It just wasn't for me. But I could tell it was a really well made movie, and that a lot of people would very much enjoy it.
Me being one of them.
Yes.
And also, since you just mentioned Eastwood, I wanted to mention that there was that little Easter egg where they use.
He used his movie.
Yeah, and he said that
it.
it's his own Hitchcock moment. Like that's the
Where he's,
closest
like,
he
in
was
it.
gonna get to being in it.
That's cool.
Yeah, and I was like, oh, look at young Clint Eastwood. Aw.
Okay, and now it's time for me likey you likey. So Jackson, what do you likey?
Uh-oh.
Wow, I couldn't think of anything.
Ruh-roh. I had something.
What'd you have?
Something.
You had something?
Something.
I had something.
Okay.
Let me use one of Jackson's lines from last time. You had my entire meal. You didn't think of another one?
You see, like, I have a checking and a savings. And it needs a couple processing time.
Yeah. In order to go from savings to checking, then you need 3 to 5 business days. I can really do this right now on the spot. That's the way my bank account set up.
I would say that my likey. Ooh, okay, I've got a good likey.
Mm-hmm.
My likey is my new Olympic barbell.
Barbell.
See.
You got more barbells?
See. I had to because the squat rack that I have is too long for the barbell I have, so getting weight on it is a struggle. Because it only can fit a certain amount because the barbell is shorter than the rack it's on.
Is that the barbell you were talking about where the woman's husband made the barbells for her?
No, those are dumbbells.
Oh, okay. So barbells are the bigger
The big
ones?
ones.
Okay.
See. And this one's bigger so that way that the weight part comes outside of the rack.
Okay.
So that makes putting weight on it so much easier because you can have the bar on the rack where you at the height you need it to be. Because before I'm like lifting it, holding it, putting weight on it, trying to shove it back on, and then doing the same thing to the other side, and I'm working with like 140 pounds of weight, and it's too tough. It's too heavy, and I got a new Olympic barbell size, which means that I don't have to do that. I put the bar on, and then I put the weights on one at a time while the barbell's on the rack.
Nice.
So it has brought my squat game up.
Oh, so it's improved your quality of life.
See,
Nice.
and no more struggles. And now I can use the other little one for like today where I did biceps and back, where it's just
Where you're like standing and you don't have to worry about
I don't have to put it on a rack or anything.
That makes sense.
And what's your likey?
Okay, so my likey is Just Dance 2021 for the Nintendo Switch.
They're still making Just Dance?
They are still making Just Dance. Okay, but this is my main qualm with it, because we had an Xbox 360, right, where we did we had an Xbox 360, right, where we did the Kinect dancing one, right? Do you remember the Kinect dance one that we would do on the Kinect?
Ooh, baby.
Well, I mean, I'm used to that kind of dance thing where it would like track all of your motions, so you didn't need like a controller or anything, and I really like how that one works. But with the one for the Switch, you have to have like a remote control in your hand, so it's only gauging the movements
of the arm.
Yeah, of the one arm. So it's like you don't get the same like high score points as you do with the one that like for the one for the Kinect than you do for this one. But the thing is that the dances are hard. They're like crazy dances. Because at least with the other one, they were like for easy, medium, hard. You could like break them down. And then eventually you would get to the hard level and you could see like the progression. But Just Dance comes out and you're just like in it. And you're just like, trying to struggle to keep up the entire time. But it's like, it was really fun. And I was kind of surprised by how much I like enjoyed it. But the thing is that they make you pay for a subscription now.
Yeah, that's kind of how stuff works. That I hear all this on the other end of, oh, well, like my boyfriend's cousin likes to be video gaming, and like we got to buy V-Bucks for the nephew for his birthday, like just because all the money is subscription based now.
Yeah.
So it's like, it kind of makes everything feel less tangible.
Yeah, but it's like you pay like $30 and you get a year of it, but then you get their entire dance catalog, which is like thousands of songs, which is great. But you also have to pay like $30-$40 for the game. So it's like, and the game itself only comes with like 20-30 songs.
Yeah.
So it's almost like, I don't know. I mean, I was kind of mad about it, but my friend gave me a Nintendo gift card. So, I mean, I just used that gift card to pay for the year because I wanted to test it out. And it's a fun game. I enjoyed Just Dance. I really did. So that's my me liking. I just had those two qualms. But it's a fun game.
I just remember Akon's song, "Ooh, you's a sexy bitch."
Yeah, but that's the Xbox one for the Kinect, where you were
I
like
like
part
that
of a
one.
dance crew.
I like
and
that.
you had to like defeat the different things. And that's another thing. It doesn't have like a linear story. It doesn't have like a linear storyline. So you just kind of just choose songs at random. You're not like a dance crew trying to battle your way up to be the best dance crew or anything.
Oh.
Yeah, so it's more party focused than it is like individual focus.
I would like an individual focus with option to party.
Well, that's what the Kinect game was.
Ooh, you's a sexy bitch. A sexy bitch.
Damn.
You's a sexy bitch.
Damn, girl.
Like, that was like the main move I remember.
The swipe.
Swipe or no swiping.
No, from that game, I remember the Lady Gaga song because it would have you go rah because you're a monster.
Oh, yeah, you did do that.
Yeah.
And then there was one where it was just kind of like,
Oh, when you're like wiped up top.
clean the glass.
Yeah.
Clean glass.
Yeah, because that one would have you do the same like 3 moves over and over again.
See, it's
Just
really-
Dance isn't like that. It's like here's one move, here's another move, here's a down, and now you're up again, and you're like, oh shit! It's like it literally just continues going. So you're just like panic trying to get all the dance moves down. I have no idea how you would learn them because I'm just like mirroring the thing.
So you're always like a couple seconds behind.
Yeah. Oh, not a couple seconds, more like a half a second.
I thought you were gonna be like more like a minute.
More like 3 minutes behind. Actually, my the switch just turns off because of inactivity. Because how far behind I am. But you know, I get there. So yeah, that was my like.
Nice.
Thank you for listening to another You Don't Make Friends with Giant Squids podcast. I'm Squid,
I'm Jackson.
and we'll see you guys in the next episode.
Bye.
Laters. Damn, you're a sexy chick. Damn, girl. Hey everyone, it's Squid. Congratulations on reaching the end of the video. I just wanted to thank our patrons for supporting us this month. If you want to become a patron, or if you want to find out more information about future updates or past projects, please follow the links below. If you enjoyed this video, please like, comment, and subscribe. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you all in the next one. Later!